We're going all over the place this great month of August for In Full Stride. Carson Gambaro here in the great 315 Cicero-North Syracuse with New York State 55-meter hurdles record holder Camron Ingram, two-time New York State champion as well. Cam, thanks for joining me today.
No problem.
Dude, it feels like great memories from States 2024, which is ironic because back then you weren't even competing in outdoor track for your high school. You were doing club track with Magistics, one of the great local track clubs here in central New York. But, how good does it feel to have made that transition from a club hurdler to a year-round hurdler?
It feels great. There's ups and downs for both. Like club, it's more like independent. Like I get kind of lonely sometimes because my team doesn't want to travel everywhere. But for school, I have like a great team around me, people who want to push me, people want me to be great, So it's really good, Like I love clubs so much, but transitioning to school is just such like a great thing just because of the people around.
And not just the people in track and field, but the reason why we are in the press box today, big shout out to the CNS staff for letting us use this facility, but the lacrosse team, they're out doing their practice right now. They've even got news crews there. They won states also in 2024, the year that Outdoor States was held at this facility. But this was the year where you really put it all together on the championship level. You had gotten that sophomore state record in the 55 hurdles the year before, but what was one of the biggest differences you noticed coming forward to your junior year?
Just expectations that people had. Like I hate to like fail on expectation and just the strive for greatness, Like I always, every year, I just want to get better. I want to improve and I want to be the best every year. So last year I had an injury like right before states and it took me out, and that like, it hurt a lot,
Pun intended?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
It's just like I wanted to be the best, and I just really, really, really wanted to be the best this year. So it just made me strive for like more and more.
So combining almost those expectations that you garnered with your 734 sophomore state record with your own expectations. How did you form your own expectations once you started to get a sense of your capabilities?
Well, I was like, last year I got pretty close to the state record, I was like just like over a tenth off, and I was like, if I can do this as a sophomore, then there's 100% chance I can break it next year. So just like training through the summer, through the outdoor, just going into indoor, I was training so hard and it all worked out in the end.
7:18 is your New York State record. You set that at the Ocean Breeze Invitational. I remember I was watching from afar from my remote studio, but such a great result for you, taking down Manny Joseph's record that had stood for just a few years. But again, so much history in the New York State hurdles because you also went on to break the 37-year-old meet record, 38, I believe, year-old meet record at the state meets. So what was just the big right feeling, I suppose? What was feeling right for you once you stepped on the line for that 7:18 state record?
I felt like really good that day. I had like a great night's sleep before. I had people coming up to me telling me like, oh, Cam, you're going to run fast. And it's just when people do that, it just makes you feel better and you want to like put on a show for people, So when I got on the line, a little nervous, my foot was shaking in the block, but, it felt great that day because the week before, that's when I ran a 7:23.
Yeah, it's SCAC Metro Champs, right? Yeah.
So I told my coach, it was like, that record has to go down this week. That record has to go down this week. It's going to happen. It's going to happen all throughout the week. So I got there and I went out there and did what I did,
The interesting thing, though, that so many of the commenters on the Mile Split Social Highlight had to point out was the fact that there was just a slight stutter out of the blocks, but you still ran incredibly well despite that. So just what was different about the hurdling for you in comparison to any other effort that you'd had over an event with such little room for error?
Yeah, it's just, I think it was the adrenaline rush that I had in that moment. Like, I got out my second step, I stumbled because of my block settings. I was like, oh my God, like, come on, I got to get there. So it was really just like an extra push because I also hate losing a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather run like a slow time and win than a fast time and lose. Like, that's like my mentality. Like, I always want to win. So I got nervous and just went out there and ran my fast.
Did that mentality, once you brought it forward to the indoor state meet, add to the weight of that state title that you earned? Because no, you didn't break your state record again. You got the meet record, as I mentioned before, but you got that state championship after having never made a state final before that.
It was great, because last year watching like my friend win, it was so great, but I was like, dang, like I could have been out there.
Cicero-North, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just seeing him win, it was great because we were training partners. We did everything together. So seeing him win is kind of like a small win for me, but I had to experience that myself.
Yeah, watching from the sidelines, Tawakol actually in 2024, another great Syracuse-based hurdler from Corcoran, he was a bit of an underdog in that race.
Yeah.
And I just remember that epic lean. He defeated the reigning state champion, Jordan Quinn, who I mentioned in another recent episode with Wyatt Gravier. And yeah, that was just an epic display by him. Having a training partner like that, what are some things that you learn from being surrounded by such great talent?
Just every time you go through a rep with him, it's like a race. Like you're always going to be prepared for a race because it's just like someone's on you. Like if you always train alone and then someone's on you in a race, it'll make you like get nervous and mess up. But just training with him, it made me always prepared for a race, a close race, being ready to dive at the line because every race we had, it was neck and neck, like within like a few hundredths of a second.
Yeah, I know he was also in that race where you set your sophomore state record. That was what kind of put both of you guys on the map heading into 2024 states. But it was just so nice to see Section 3, which is the Central New York section here, bring it forward to basically command the top of the state leaderboards at the indoor season and the outdoor season as we saw this past year, and really just making huge improvements over the 110 hurdles. I mean, what were you at 14.7 last year?
Yes.
Yeah, you got third in the Junior Olympics too. That's another element to add to just that weight of decision to go from Junior Olympics to high school competition, but to take a full another second off of that, what kind of dividends does that pay to you internally?
It made me feel great. It makes me, every time I improve by a lot, it just, in my mind, it makes me feel like I've put in the work and it's really working, so I just got to keep going.
13.80, that's your Section 3 record, I believe, number 4 all-time, right behind Wyatt, whom I mentioned earlier, and who we talked to a few weeks ago, who sits at 13.78. I know, like I said, in that episode, you guys didn't really get the chance to race each other much. You literally had a meet this year at the Laux Games where you were in separate heats, and the initial gun time that came up on your finishing clock was the same time as his FAT time, so there was at one point of anticipation, are they going to tie from separate heats? How crazy would that have been?
It would have been really cool. It's kind of disappointing how injuries made us like not really race each other that much, but at the end of the day, we were still competing with each other, just not in the same race, you know? Like I'd be number 1 in the state and then he'd come run a faster time than me, then I'd go run a faster time. It was just always back and forth.
Yeah, it's like you guys were almost even because your time 14.09 was 200s faster than him at Laux.
Yeah.
But his season personal best was 200s faster than yours. Of course, you got your Class A state title in 13.80, the Section 3 record that I mentioned before, just trying to keep everything in perspective. But, you know, beneath all of the facts and figures, the big numbers, the big goals, right? What are some more things to you than the great track star that you are?
My friends, to be honest. Like, I love just hanging out with my friends, chilling at home, but I really, like, track is, like, the main thing about me, you know? Like, it's the one thing where I feel like when I die, like, people will remember about me. Like, that's, like, my legacy right now, you know?
How young are you right now?
16.
16, so yeah, you're gonna be around a while. Prayers on that, you know, knock on wood, but still, like, what made you want to dedicate your legacy to this sport of track and field?
It's just, like, love for the game, you know? Like, I started track because I didn't make the baseball team at first, and then I started and I got really good, and I just, like, stuck with it, and then I loved the sport so much where I just never want to stop.
Were there any other sports along the way besides baseball that maybe tried to pull at you from different directions?
Basketball a tiny bit. I used to play in a basketball league. I was pretty good, but wasn't, like, extraordinary, you know, because I was younger, but I think baseball was really, like, my main, like, sport before. Like, I was always at baseball. I had so many bats, gloves.
Yeah.
I loved that sport, and then it's just that one day of tryouts got me, and then it's just track for the rest, you know?
Yeah, then the rest is history, I suppose.
Yeah.
Of course, the story has only just begun when we talk about you. I mean, you've got a full senior year left to continue chasing your PRs, but I wanted to bring up a personal anecdote because I actually started in baseball too, and it wasn't until I realized that some of it, at least in my situation, was a favoritism game. You know, if you were playing modified baseball or Little League Baseball, and your dad was the coach. My dad was only a coach for one season, and, I rode a lot of the bench and spent a lot of time in the outfield, and, no matter what I was doing, I always loved running. And did you kind of feel that same love of running before you discovered what track and field could be for you?
Yeah, I was always the fastest on the team. I'd always have the most stolen bases, most inside the park home runs in Little League, Like, people used to always know that I was fast, so that's why I did sign up for the track team when I did get cut.
Oh, yeah. Did you ever get put in as a pinch runner, maybe?
Yeah. I was usually the main pinch runner when the time came, but usually it's just like I would always get on base, because I was good on Little League,
Yeah, definitely. Basketball, too, you mentioned. You're a very tall guy, as I love to make note of every time I see you. You're what, 6'3" now?
I'm 6'6".
6'6". He's gotten even taller since I last seen him, and he's only 16, but I remember Wyatt mentioned this in our conversation, how he has to kind of defy a little bit of height. He's not a short guy, but in terms of where hurlers should be, how does your height benefit you from what you've experienced as a high hurdler?
So for me, it's going over the hurdle is a lot easier than the shuffle in between, because for me to shuffle in between, I really got to cut my steps down because my strides are so long. But getting over the hurdle is the easiest part of my race.
Yeah.
But that's the main part I do got to work on my race, is cutting down my steps, just because I take such long strides, because my strides are already so long.
Yeah.
But once I cut that down, it's going to be a fun indoor season.
It's interesting for a lot of 400 hurdlers that are in that same scenario. I know Rye Benjamin has been a little experimentative with this. Femke Bol on the women's side trying to squeeze in more strides for the longer hurdles. Not that you're particularly familiar with that, but it's just a cool concept, I suppose, that may apply to the high hurdles when it comes to your stride length. Not necessarily your 3 steps, because that's almost an automatic, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. But, what's it been like really nailing down those step patterns and just becoming more routine with them every time you go?
My travel coach, we have so many drills that I do, so many practices that just take a long time, so many reps failed, where it just becomes a natural to you. When I was a freshman, I just took a whole year, indoor, outdoor, just working on my form, and then I've never had to work on my form again. And then these past 2 years, I've been working on my stride length and the pattern, and it's just becoming a natural. And then senior year, I'm just hoping that everything combines and I break more records, looking for a national record.
Ooh.
That's my main goal for this season.
So you've got that on your mind now? That's low 13s if my memory is serving me right.
Yeah.
But the big thing that you made note of, right, about your 1380 Section 3 record was that it was the first race that you had felt, in your description, truly healthy for heading into it. So talking about that psychological weight in the back of your mind, right? How does that affect you when you go into a race, just thinking about what could happen?
It's adrenaline mostly. I try not to think about it in race. Before the race, I'm always stressed out. I try not to show it, but before every race, I'm stressed out. But just going into the race, I'm just I gotta calm down. If I'm hurt, I wouldn't have ran. If I'm hurt, I wouldn't have ran. If I'm gonna get hurt, then I'll deal with that later, So I just always try to calm my mind down and try not to think about what could happen and just control what I can't control.
Yeah, it's very tough to do when you're a hurdler. It's just so common to see some of the best hurdlers experience injuries and mishaps. Of course, though, it has that same effect, I think, that you talked about with your 55 hurdle state record, right, where you had that stumble out of the blocks, but the adrenaline just kept you going and brought another great performance out of you.
Yeah.
And let's not forget, too, you got quite a bit of speed to you as well. Of course, having a tall, longer stride can help with that, but going 21.7 in the 200 and even taking third in the 55, so it's not even like it takes you a ridiculously long time for a 6'6" guy to get up to speed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, what's been the big difference maker in that department?
Just trying to get stronger, trying to work on my speed endurance, because in indoor states, it was just back-to-back rounds, because it went 55 hurdles, 55 finals, hurdles, and then I had a false start in the hurdle finals, which made me run 5 races that day.
Yeah,
so
it wasn't you, and you were going to win, too, which was crazy.
So I won the state finals basically twice, and then I had to go run the 55 finals right after that. So I feel I definitely could have dipped into the 6'3" in the 55 range, but I'm not going to tweak about what could have happened. I'm going to just work in the future, try to break that state record as well.
I was literally watching that race back or listening to it back on the car ride out to CNS, and I remember my co-announcer Taylor, she made note of how the fact that all top three, you, Rowan Call to the state champion, and Nikita Domashenko, your Section 3 crosstown rival from Fayetteville Manlius, all of you guys are coming back next year, so whatever happens, we're going to get a great rematch there.
Yep. I just really want to win. You know, I've already said this before, but that's going to be like one of my main focuses this year is trying to get a 55 title in as well. Just because like I lost last year and I really want to experience what it feels like to win that event as well.
Yeah, getting that double under your belt.
Yeah,
right?
getting winning 2 events in states is that's like a pretty big thing. So I feel like if I do that, then I'll feel good about my high school career.
Yeah, it's not going to quite yield the theoretical $100,000 Grand Slam cash prize that you get for winning the high hurdles, or no, it's called the short hurdles division.
Yeah.
That's right. I mean, how cool would it be to be a part of a professional meet where you as a hurdler get to run both outdoors, the 110s and the 100?
That'd be really cool because in New York, the 110s and 100 they're just back to back.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
I never got like a real 100 race because every time I did it, I'd just get like hurdles or it'd be raining every meet. But if I got into a professional meet, that'd be so cool. Just racing like better competition. I would like to see what it feels like to hurdle on 42s. You know. Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, we mentioned already how you really want to make your game in this sport. You've got plenty of exciting prospects awaiting you, but do you have any perhaps long-term ceiling goals for yourself that you'd like to see, like maybe in 5 years beyond whatever happens in college?
I definitely want to win a collegiate title. I want to break the collegiate record in my collegiate career, and I do want to make a world championship team.
Yeah.
That's like the very long-term goal that I really want to make it happen.
Thinking about some of the goals that you've achieved thus far, do you remember when you first set goals like become state champion and break state records?
Yeah, it was my freshman year. It was freshman year state qualifiers. That's when like everything really connected. Because going into the meet, my PR was like an 8:20 in the 55 hurdles, and I ran a 7:8 that day. And I was like, well, I can really do this. So I went to states. I really, really wanted to place the states, but I just didn't run the best race because I was nervous. Like I was like shaking. But I was a freshman, you know, that happens, and I was just going to keep grinding. And then I got hurt freshman outdoor. That's where everything truly did start.
So that was where you kind of felt the fire that you were missing.
Yeah.
You had the dedication, right, to show up to practice and spend that entire winter working on the hurdles, but that was the spark for you?
Yeah, that's where it was like, I can't like keep getting hurt. Like this is really going to hurt me in the future. Like I got to like get myself stronger so this doesn't happen again.
Being persistent, right? How difficult is that to do when you just have to spend so much time constantly thinking about those things, like that ankle weight that never goes away?
It's all a mental game. Like you really have to like just believe in yourself and your abilities to like keep going. Even when you're hurt, there's still stuff you can do to improve yourself, like calming yourself, like meditating, or just like doing like simple hurdle drills, trying to like work on whatever's hurt, or going to physical therapy. Like I have a great physical therapist, and just stuff like that. Like just never like stop, never quit.
Yeah, and like you said before, you've got all your friends that you can hang around with just to keep life fun and not just strictly track and field, because that's always important. It's something that can easily be forgotten when we overlook just how much time we spend on this sport. Just sort of speaking on your behalf here, because you've made it crystal clear that this sport has become your life right now and that you don't have any immediate plans of letting that change. But yeah, seeing now that the NCAA champion just became the USA champion, Jacoby Tharp, what was it like watching that final at USA's?
That was crazy because I was at physical therapy when it happened, and I checked my phone and it said a 19-year-old won hurdles. I was like, what? Who?
Yeah.
I was like, Jacoby. I was like, I wasn't really surprised either because like every time a big meet comes around, he just shows up.
Yeah.
Like he's always in the conversation. He always is right there. So I really wasn't surprised about it.
Yeah, and the fact that he did it out of lane 1, but the great thing about it is that when turns aren't involved, right, it becomes less of a factor, the lane. Not that it really should be a factor in theory, but it always ends up being a factor. Oh, you want to get a good lane draw for the final. But the big thing you mentioned right there, 19-year-old, 3 years from now, you're going to be 19, and there's going to be an Olympic Games happening in LA. Do you have any plans, whether or not as a competitive athlete or a spectator, to get to LA 2028?
I really do want to make it at least to U.S. trials for the Olympic Games. And the main goal, obviously, is to make the team. But if that doesn't happen, I mean, I'm going to be 19 years old. There's going to be at least 2 more I can try to get into. But the long-term goal is really to compete at LA.
Mm-hmm. What is your biggest why for wanting to get to that Olympic stage? I know we've asked different levels of that question thus far throughout the episode, but I want to know what makes you want to be on that Olympic stage when you see those athletes like Jacoby Tharp getting to that world stage.
It's just competing in the Olympics is like the highest you can go. Like that is like the highest meet where you can ever compete at, because it's once every 4 years. Only 3 people from the U.S. can make it for my event. So that's just like the highest achievement that you can get, and especially like placing at the Olympic Games, like that's like a crazy thing, and that's like something I really want to experience.
Yeah, whatever happens in the years to come, you know, just keep that goal alive and keep on using that to fuel you throughout the grind. Another thing that I wanted to cover, right? Obviously, as I mentioned, you got a lot of exciting prospects awaiting you for college. Might not have gone on you said you still have some official visits to come, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So we're going to keep it surface level, but I had to bring the Syracuse Polo out here because you did an unofficial visit after taking Manny Joseph's state record at Syracuse University, where he currently competes. So what was it like getting to visit the campus nearby, just across town, and meet the man whose record you took?
It was really cool, you know, because that was like the first like college I've really like visited, and it was really nice to see like how much stuff they do differently. Like they have so much better training resources, so much like equipment that I don't have access to. And then meeting Manny, it was really cool, you know. It's like seeing someone who went through the same thing I did, seeing what, like, he definitely felt the same way he did at the Armory. I've seen the video of it. It was really cool, you know, because we shared the same experience.
Mm-hmm. And you may or may not, depending on what happens, share that other same experience. But I feel like Cuse has always been secretly a hurdle you, because last year we saw a former Orange compete at the Olympics, Freddie Crittenden. So did you get a chance to kind of connect with that legacy while you were on visit?
Yeah, he was actually there.
He was?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I met him. I got a few pictures of him. We talked for a while. You know, it was really cool to meet someone who's went to the Olympics, because, like, that's really, like, my long-term goal, you know, talk to him about how it felt, you know, what he did to get there. But it was, like, it was really cool meeting him, because that was after the Olympics also. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. But, yeah, it was really cool.
Either way, so, yeah, you were able to connect with someone. I think that honestly provides an even better perspective, because he had yet to achieve, if the visit was before the Olympics, had he qualified for the Olympics by then?
No, that was an indoor.
Okay, so yeah, that's even better, right? Because he was still sort of in the same phase as you, more so broadly, because he was still striving, right, for his Olympic dreams. He hadn't quite caught them yet, and now you see what it's like to see someone like-minded go and get them. Just what's that like for you?
That's it's really cool, because like being just surrounded by that, like he really wants to work hard. You know, he was down here to train. He was watching the other people train. Just like watching people train and knowing that they're gonna go do something that's like great. You know, going to the Olympics is great. It's like it just makes you feel great, because knowing that you're like around them, like you could have a chance to do it.
Yeah. If you had a dream Olympic city, perhaps, because we know if you're going to get the call to go to the Olympics, you're going to go to wherever it is. But if you had your choice of an Olympic host city, where would you pick?
That's a good question. Because like it really is Paris. Like I want to go to Paris so bad, but it was just there, you know?
Yeah.
So I have to pick something different.
I mean, hey, Team USA did get the sweep in Paris.
Yeah.
So, you know, that would be a pretty good spot to go as a representative for Team USA at the Olympics.
Probably somewhere like really hot. Probably like, that's a good question. I didn't think about that.
Let's see, places that I know it's been in Mexico City before. That was like 1968, I think. Man, there's LA. That's obviously hot. Miami, perhaps.
Miami's good. I like Miami.
Really cool.
I'd want to travel out of the U.S. Like for U20 championships, that's something I want to do next year. Is going to be at Oregon.
That's a Hayward, yeah.
Yeah.
But the year before, in 2024, it was in Lima, Peru.
Yes.
So yeah, that'd be a pretty cool place to go.
Yeah. I'd say it's always in the same, like Tokyo. I love Tokyo. That's World Championships this year. Wasn't it in 2021? It was in Tokyo.
It was. I feel like I've noticed a weird parallel while we're turning this into a travel guide episode, right? It seems like wherever the Olympic Games are held, approximately 7-ish or less years later, the World Championships are going to be held there. I think it's like between 4 or 5. It's like between 5 and 7, right? Because Tokyo was supposed to be in 2020 and the Worlds were in 2025. Just like London 2012, London 2017.
Yeah.
And then for 7 years, Beijing 2008 and 2015. So maybe, I don't know, the World Championships might be in LA in 2035. Who knows?
Probably.
But yeah, there's a ton of great options, I'd say, for the Olympics. So IOC, if you're seeing this, just pick somewhere hot, and this guy will show up to the occasion.
I will be there.
What's the coolest place that you've been to thus far in your life?
Coolest place? I'd say Greensboro, North Carolina. I don't really travel a lot, but that place was just great. I went there for the Junior Olympics, traveled around. They just have like so many things that we don't have here.
Yeah.
Just like better weather, more food options, just a lot more stuff to do, you know?
Yeah, it's underrated. It kind of gets lost in all the shuffle of Carolina college towns, but I know whenever the ACC basketball championships are held, they're more than often not held in Greensboro. It's a real sports hub if you think about it.
Yeah.
And obviously as a frequent host of the Junior Olympics, I'm glad you brought it up too, because North Carolina A&T alum Randolph Ross, his suspension was recently lifted in the 400, so even though he's not making Team USA, it'd be cool to see if he can make a return.
Yeah.
Do you got any particular storylines that you're looking forward to heading into Worlds?
Heading to Worlds, I think I'm just ready to watch that 100. That 100 is going to be something really cool.
The 100?
And the hurdles, I think it comes down between Jacoby and Cordell.
Okay.
But I think there probably is going to be a USA sweep again.
It's going to be Division I legend versus Division II legend, right?
Yeah.
So, hey, honestly, with Cordell Tinch, right, even if having already gone on unofficial visits to Syracuse, you wind up at a D2 school, you still have hopes of getting to the very top of the world. He's the world leader right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, everything is exciting. But let's talk about the 100, right? I want to do a little predictions while we kind of wind things down here. For the men's 100, Kashane Thompson, obviously he's the world leader right now as of August 7th, the day of this recording. But Kenny Bednarik went 979 at USA's, and we all know that we've yet to see Noah Lyles' best. And, of course, there's plenty of other sprinters on the scene, so what say you?
I think I got Kashane Thomas in the 1, Oblique Seville in the 2nd, and then I got Kenny in the 3. I think Noah hasn't had enough races in his season yet to really drop a 9-7 right now, you know? He was just 10 flat all season. I just don't think that drop is really going to happen.
Yeah, we did see him win USA's in the 200 with that low 19.6 and the stare down at Kenny Bednarik. That was pretty cool. I think Kenny with the 979 is definitely a medal threat, but I'm glad you mentioned Oblique Seville because he's always been that pristine semifinal round runner and has always just fallen just short of the podium. So what do you think is going to be the difference maker for him to get on that podium this year?
I think just his mistake last year, he ran so fast in the semifinal last year and then got last in the final. I feel like he's just going to have a big comeback year. He's going to learn from what he did last year and come just put it all together this year.
As someone who's been through the semis and the prelims and whatnot, what's the biggest key to running your best semifinal? I feel like that's a concept that gets overlooked a lot.
Semifinal is definitely the hardest round, I'd say, because that's where you have the best 24 and then you got to take it to the best 8. So I'd say just running a good prelim, but not all out crazy, and then just putting it all together in the semifinal, because the semifinal is really where it dials down. And then when it comes to the final, you'll have your adrenaline, you'll be ready, you'll be super warm. So I'd say just an all-out semifinal, just trying to put together a really, really good race.
Yeah. We'll see how that boils down. I'm going to make my 100-meter predictions now. Of course, Noah Lyles will have probably dropped the sub-10 by the time this episode is up. But I think that it's going to be Kung Fu Kenny to get the world title, Kashane second, and Noah Lyles third. I find it so hard to pick against Oblique based on the way he obliterated Noah Lyles in the Diamond League at London a few weeks ago. But just knowing how Noah has shown the ability to peak, I don't know if he'll catch Kenny in the 200 I got Noah, obviously.
Yeah, same.
But, you know, for the 100, when you watch Kashane run, it just seems like his form comes a little bit awry at the end of races. And I think if he's got closer competition like he had in the Paris Olympics, that might put him under pressure. Although Otto Bolden did contend in his bold predictions video that his experience has him better prepared for that scenario. We'll see. So, yeah.
It's going to be an insane race.
I asked Wyatt about this. I'm going to ask you, too. With Team USA now having been officially assembled for the men's 110-meter hurdles, you think we're going to see another Team USA sweep?
I think so. I just don't think there's many more hurdlers in the world that are better than the USA hurdlers. Because we have just, like, both world records. You know, we have, like, so many sub-13 guys that are competing. It's just going to be, like, super hard to medal.
Even without Freddie Crittenden and Trey Cunningham on the team, though, this year, Daniel Roberts, another guy I had been remiss to mention, though, just the depth is insane, like you said.
Yeah. It's just because Jacoby, I got him going sub-13 just because he's so consistent.
Yeah, he's right there, 13:05, yeah.
13:01.
13:01. See, even closer, right?
Yeah. He's just right there, and he's always...
You know the records that you're coming for.
He's always just so consistent and always ready to run. I got him getting top 3. And you got Grant Holloway. He's been having a shaky season, but he always dials it down when it comes to the end. And then Cordell, he's just there. You know, he's the world leader, 12:8, insane time.
Yeah.
I just can't count him out of anything. Like, those 3 are just going to do really good.
Yeah. Watch Dylan Beard get 4th.
Yeah.
That would be something unlike anything else besides what we saw from Arkansas women in the 400 at 2024 NCAAs. I mean, that's crazy.
It's just the USA hurdle squad is like the hardest team to make. That's why it's like such a big thing for me. Like, it's like probably the hardest team to make, USA hurdles. It's
crazy, but you know, what can we do but just keep giving it our best, right? And I'm just so grateful that you've been willing to share your time with me today and just be that somebody that's willing to take on all those challenges in the sport. And I know one thing you said you were really looking forward to doing today as well was just talking some track. So thanks for accompanying me to that too.
No problem. It was great talking to you.
Yeah, and anything else that you'd like to cover while we got you here in the midst of summer, Cam?
Not too much. Just the race I really want to watch is the 400 hurdles.
Yeah, that's always fun.
I cannot wait.
Yeah.
We got the 3 fastest people of all time running it.
It's like every time that we run it at a global championship, it's going to be something special because you've got those 3 guys there and they're still in their 20s and still have plenty left to fight in them.
This is going to be a crazy race. This is going to be a great World Championships.
Let's end this with some goals for your senior year, whether it be times, achievements. You mentioned the double for the 55 hurdles and flat, but national record and everything. What are some other goals that you'd like to leave us with?
So there's 2 times I really want to hit. I want to run 6 in the 55 hurdles, and then I want to go 7.4 in the 60 hurdles. And then I want to win indoor nationals, because I got hurt in the final last year. I got a great start. I was really close. I was like tied for first, and over that second hurdle was just over. So that's really like my comeback for that. Like, that's really like fueling me right now. Like, I really want to win. And then for outdoor, I want to break the national record for the 110s, just because like I've had such a bad like experience with the 110s because I usually get hurt in the outdoor. So I really want to break 13.2. I want to go 13.1, maybe break the national record. Yeah, I mean, that would get you there. Of course, it's not going to be as easy to improve another 0.6 as if it was easy to begin with to improve a full second. But if anybody has shown the ability to do that and find a way to stay and push on through the adversity, it is you, my friend, Camron Ingram. Last fun fact I wanted to cover. I know we're literally overstaying our visit here, but your name, right? Yeah. You are named after a very special individual in the hip-hop world, are you not? Yes, I am. I'm named after Camron the rapper. I found that out after I always pronounced your name wrong. I got lazy with the O. I went, Camron Ingram, New York State record. Nope, there's a little more to the story. Yeah. You got a favorite Camron song? Not really. This is more of like my dad.
Gotcha.
Because he's an older rapper, but
Yeah.
I think it's just cool. 'Cause I love my name. You know, like I couldn't imagine being named anything else. Like I feel like it just fits me, and it's just like a cool story to tell. Like people would say Camron and I'll be like, no, I'm named after the rapper, and they're like, what?
What?
Yeah. So it's really cool. You know, I love it, and I just took my dad's last name for the last.
I may not listen to him as much as some people might, but I just love his feature on J. Cole's Ready 24.
Yep.
That's such a hype song for me. And I, as someone who gets called Cameron mistakenly often, you know, I can appreciate that story where you get called the right name but the wrong pronunciation. It's like we're all going through the same thing here. Anyways, leave a like if you enjoyed this episode. Be sure to comment below to support Cam on all of his hurdling journeys. And stay tuned for an epic senior year with the CNS North Stars. Take care, Cam.
Take care. Thank you for coming out.
Yes, sir.